back. We are back with another amazing spotlight. And the topic is your money trapped in your relationship? Let's talk about feminine wealth building. And thank you very much for being back, Elina. How are you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Agnes, for inviting me back. I think we unfolded some really important insights and topics and secrets that we felt called to continue and give more and speak more of the truth and invite women to open up more of their truth so they can live their lives feeling fulfilled and building their wealth and success from fulfillment, not from survival.
Yes, yes, yes. Because we are always looking at it's like, oh, this strategy doesn't work for me, and that strategy doesn't work for me. And oh my God, just give me another checklist. Oh my God, just give me another, step what to do, and I will succeed and I will push through. But at the end of the day, and that's how this episode actually came together, after we finished part one or the first episode, we went into this whole conversation. It's like, how much our relationships and at home basically determines how you act in your business and what you do. And there are so many women out there who feel the lack of support from home and who can't really push through until things are fine at home, right? Or they don't even acknowledge those things. And I think Elina is the best person to talk about. She's not just a success coach, but also what's going on with me today?
That's okay. Everything is perfect. Whatever is
Going on, we just flow with it, don't we? And you have a background in psychology, don't you?
Yes, I have. It's not my first education, but whilst I was training as a coach, I've also I educated partially as psychologist and mainly on the trauma. And now I've done, actually last week I got certificate in trauma responsive coaching. That's to understand how trauma is impacting progress, what's holding back really on a really deep level. And usually people go to therapists for years to tackle traumas, which I don't deny. Obviously, every modality has its own place. But this methodology of coaching whilst recognizing and responding to trauma during the session, that's kind of another cutting edge tool, because you can help your clients. You don't have to say to your clients, so you know what, you go to therapist for that. You can help your clients whilst they're moving towards their goals and their desired results, to see how is trauma holding them back, because awareness, it's what really starts healing us. When we're not aware, we just continue on autopilot. When we're aware, we start recognizing in every single situation of our life, because we all have patterns where trauma is involved, and we start seeing it. Okay, here's where I'm giving away my power. Here's where I'm undervaluing myself. Here's where I feel shamed, for expressing myself. And although I don't classify myself as a relationship coach, it's never been my niche as such, but during the coaching sessions, I strategically help women to see where they're giving their power away, where they undervalue themselves, where are the energy leaks. Because when energy is leaking, this is when women don't have enough energy. This is when they want help saying, I need a strategy. I need somewhere where I can just look at my list and tick the boxes. And it works to some extent. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any plan. I'm not saying any of that. But when your energy is not leaked, and when you live from the place of creation and alignment, then you actually need less and less strategy, because you can really build even your business or wealth from the place of alignment daily. And now I know this is something that needs to sink in, because there is a big belief that you need a plan for every single day. If you don't have a plan, you're stuck. And what if alignment doesn't come to you today? And of course it can happen, absolutely. But I'm just saying it's a learning process of recognizing when you do receive that alignment, stepping into that state on a daily basis. It's a new way of being, basically.
I'm a huge believer in that, yes,
It's a
for sure.
yeah, it's a new way of being. And of course, when people lived in a different way of being for 40 years, for example, so you need time to learn and to get used to new way of being and building your business.
Yeah,
So
I think we all start with strategy because we don't know what's going on, and
we
structure
can
and so
we
on,
can
right?
start,
But
of
when you
course.
start to feel into it, then you will see what's working for you. You try certain things, right? And then you go into the okay, this is flowing nicely, and that's what I see with my clients, right? It's like, Agnes, don't give me that strategy. It never worked, but I'm really good at this, and let's hone
Yeah.
that. And then we build the business around that, right? What comes to you naturally and what comes to you easily. My question is, if something is not coming and you try different things, and maybe you are even aware that at home something is not working out, there seems to be a connection, but what if you think everything is fine and you are doing the right things, but still things not working out? What is easier to find the pattern at home and then reflect that to the business, or we see in the business what's not working, and then at the end you find out that it's because, most likely because, your money is trapped in the relationship?
I mean, what usually happens when you think everything is fine and you're ticking the boxes, you're doing all the right things and still not having, the results and whatever you want to have. No, people usually, women, they go to work with a coach, right? They, okay, say, okay, I've done everything possible, nothing is working out. And this is where we start opening up the Pandora box, as we say, and see where the truth is, right? And everything is connected, you know. If a woman undervalues herself deep inside, it will be reflected in relationship and in business as well. It will be reflected in her, her patterns of her behavior in relationship, and obviously her ability to receive those results in business. And sometimes, and very often, it's about this energetic shift that you create during sessions. And
Mm-hmm.
all the things that she's done and they haven't worked out, they can start popping in and resulting into something because there is energetic shift.
What are certain things where you say it's like, because usually, right, we kind of know the big things, right, the big issues at home, the big problems that
Mhm.
he's not supporting me, he's just seeing this as okay, it's a side hustle or whatever, you will get over this, but it start to cost too much for him, right, without seeing the
Yeah, yeah,
results.
yeah.
Uh, but but what are certain signs where we would think is like, oh yeah, that's okay, right? We deal with that later once I don't know, once I'm successful, once I'm, there. And what are the things which are kind of hidden and which are kind of, it's like, yeah, I think it's still fine, right? It's like, okay, we learned this, that they operate this way in a relationship, and I'm focusing now on business. I don't want to deal with that. But at the end, you figure out it's like, okay, that was the cause, or that was a problem, or that was something very, very, we really undervalue ourselves or taking too much on.
I think relationship, really close relationship, like with partners and with children, is really a field for self-development. And you either take it as, okay, I have problems, I'm gonna put them aside and I'm gonna bury them. I'll deal with this when I have money. Yeah. Or you actually use it as a field of personal growth
Mm-hmm.
deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is how I came to understanding. I'm either fighting this or ignoring this, right? Or I'm facing this, and this is the hardest thing. I'm facing the truth. What is going on there?
Mm-hmm.
Why is there no support? Why is no even trying to understand where I'm coming from and wanting to grow and wanting to do things the way I do it? And there's not, how to say, I mean, every relationship is so different and truth will be different. You know, sometimes it's misunderstanding, and also on a, you know, for a woman to take responsibility as well, to be able to understand where her partner is coming from, because he's not always coming from the bad place, and it's not always his fault that he doesn't see, you know, if he's, you know, concerned about financial safety for the family and all of these kind of things, he may be evaluating from that point of view, not necessarily he's mean, or but it can also be he genuinely doesn't support your dreams. So it's hard to say black and white because every relationship is different. And I think in this case, it is wise to work maybe with a relationship coach as well, or therapist, to help to go into nitty-gritty of what's going on in that particular dynamics. But from my perspective, when I work with a woman on her feminine wealth building, and for me is really understand if she is giving her power and how she's giving her power away in the relationships, and where the energy is leaking, right? Where it can get better. Where, what is it in her power and responsibility to stop the drainage, if it makes sense, you know? And for everybody, it will be very different,
and
you
then
know?
once that's solved, and once you guys can work on that, then everything opens up, and then the opportunities, the alignment comes. Although she wanted to work with you, I guess, on, you know, money. Let's get the next client. Let's get to the next level. Let's get to the next thing, right?
You release the energy, and in some cases, women wake up and they understand that their relationships are no longer the truth of who they feel they are. That connection with the partner is no longer there, or it was never there. And it's a hard truth to wake up to. But, you know, it's not always the case. Sometimes something needs to work through in the couple, and it's not always that bad. So,
And also when you release that tension, right, or you change that filter, you look the relationship or his actions through, right, because we can change only ourselves, right, then his reaction is changing, then you don't take it so personally, certain things, right? So basically finding those tension points help also to act differently, react differently, and I guess it's the moving everything forward.
yeah, it's reacting differently, seeing differently,
Mhm.
seeing where the other person is coming from. It's not always unreasonable. It's not always he's a bad hero or he's a bad villain, as we say, or you're a bad villain, you know. And this is also about, you know, woman's value, like, because if she values herself, she would value another individual, because she will try to see his value, even if things are no longer working out between them. That person is still valuable. He still has his truth and his points. And instead of fighting it, it's, you know, helping to kind of soften that energy, if it makes sense, you know? So then you don't go to your business and aggressively go, I'm gonna make it work so I can show this person that what I can do. There is no doubt that women can do so much and they're so powerful and they've got ambition and everything. But sometimes, even like, especially what I see with ambitious women who maybe had a track record of success in the past in their maybe corporate careers or anything like this, they're absolutely capable to build success. There is no doubt about it. But sometimes their path, and it definitely happened to me, like you hear this whisper, you hear this voice, I know you can build your success. You have absolutely everything, but you really need to master something else very important in this moment of your life. And this is about this feminine energy and learning how to, yeah, act in a feminine way, not fighting, not acting from the ego perspective, you know?
Right.
But
But
really from the play, and also not from pleasing. Okay, not saying, okay, I'm gonna please my partner's whatever he wants. I'm gonna pretend, and then I go back to business and pretend that, you know. So the pattern will be everywhere. If you're pretending in relationships, you'll be pretending in business. If you're pleasing in relation, you'll go on pleasing. Because once this no longer inside of you, like pleasing, if pleasing is no longer part of how you operate, you will not be able to operate from the pleasing.
But we are so conditioned to this, right? It's like the good woman, and you are a good housewife if you do these certain things, or if you just put it on, guys. Just put it on, and I will carry it. It's not a problem, right? And then you bring that energy into your business. Obviously, it will not create the healthy relationships. I had a couple of clients where we really needed to set boundaries with the clients as well, right? And then I wonder now if that affected, or that's how she was in relationships as well, right? Because messaging, we are online, everything happens and needs to happen straight away, and just because people message you, it doesn't mean that you have to work, and so on and so forth, right? So I guess it's the how you do one thing, that's how you
Yeah,
do
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. The patterns are everywhere. So this is why when you work with a success coach, right, and you change the pattern, it will automatically reflect in your relationships. Yeah. But then the thing is, like, if your partner, if a woman's partner is used to her being pleasing, and then all of a sudden she puts the boundaries and she's saying, okay, something needs to change, then it can cause, of course, you know,
Okay.
triggers,
Mhm.
tension.
Mhm.
But it's not, but this is again, this is another thing to hold that space and understand that's the natural for another person to go, wow, wow, wow. You know?
Yeah, it is kind of complex, isn't it? From the moment other people are involved and
Yeah,
you
of
are on your
course.
way to success, you have this vision, but you need to kind of communicate that at home, right? And you need to kind of be able to tell your family that, okay, now this is my vision, let's, and bring them maybe even on team to help you with that, right? I guess that's another challenge, just as with we are not understanding when we are working through trauma what will come out of the other end, right? And I don't know how I will react after, I've just recently had a couple of breathwork sessions with one of my amazing clients, and I wasn't prepared for the reactions, for my own reactions, and how in a couple of days that everything will happen. And so it's like we need to bring them on board with something that we don't even understand as as the person who is going through that, what they need to be on board with, right? It's like I guess communication is key first of all.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Communication is the key. Yeah, definitely. And with children as well, children also get used to mom being certain way. And then with them, communication and explaining, but in a way that if mom becomes, more valuable to herself, it could be perceived as being selfish, but it's not. And it's something that she can also explain even to her children. And that's a great example to show how to value yourself, how to put boundaries, how to protect your energy, and how to make sure. So basically, if you are not drained, if you're fulfilled, and if you're happy and healthy, then you are much better for your family.
For sure.
For sure, yeah. And this is where the truth is in your partner. And the woman can wake up to a moment the partner doesn't understand that. And it can be the case because he's got his own traumas.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is So another truth, she does need to serve his trauma. She's not his therapist, if it makes sense, you know? We can't take the whole load on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a choice, and this is where the truth is, where the soul connection, another soul can step in and start growing as well, or they may not choose to, and it's not our responsibility to carry that load. We can just accept it and observe it. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, actually, that was a problem in my parents' relationship before they got divorced back in the days. That mom was growing and dad didn't even want it to, right? It's like, yeah, okay, you go to those seminars, it's fine, right? I take care of the kids or something. Or mom tried to make him read a book, right? And then he was like, oh yeah, that's stupid. Don't even bother me, right? I'm just watching football. So
Okay.
those are the things, and what I guess on a daily basis you need to manage, right, in order to. But you can't make anyone grow if they don't
No, you
grow.
can't. You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
And also, you can't make and you can't expect them fully understand you. You know, they may be growing in their own pace, in their own way,
Mm-hmm.
but the truth is, someone needs to start.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody starts, it will be stagnation, you know?
Yeah,
Someone needs to start.
yeah. It's like I want more, right? I want different. I'm working on this. Let's talk about that, and then you go from there, I guess, right?
You go from there. And what I also this weekend was kind of having my downloads and insights of how much women sometimes don't allow themselves to be happy
Mm-hmm.
because they live on autopilot, doing things, doing for families, then going to work, building business, responsibilities, and they forget what it actually feels like when you actually feeling the joy, when you genuinely smile, when you genuinely have a desire for things, not just automatically go and put lipstick on, and when you actually live that tasty life, when
Mm-hmm.
when you get fulfilled from what you're doing, not just quickly having coffee and a cake, but you're actually indulging and you're feeling the taste. And this is what I mean. There could be simple things, but it's bringing you joy. And sometimes it's that feeling like, oh my God, I forbid myself to feel this happiness and joy. Like I don't even know when.
Mm.
Since I became a mom, you know, and I carry this load of responsibility all the time. And this is an awakening moment. And for some women, and I certainly experienced that myself, awaken and you experience the joy and you look around you. And your partner, for example, he doesn't. And
Mm.
you're like, do I have to feel guilty? Am I really selfish that I'm happy and he continues being miserable or he continues, through his struggles? Am I even allowed? You know, that's kind of a big thing.
It is, yeah.
And I'm not saying like it's like this every time. Some women say, oh, Elina, you talk about obvious things, of course you're allowed to be happy, but I'm talking on a deep level, because sometimes this happiness can look like happiness and we smile,
Mm.
but I'm talking about really experiencing that feeling of joy of being alive and just having everything around you and just simply not love your life, not because you have certain amount of money, not because you have a specific house or car or whatever, because you actually enjoy yourself being in yourself. Just give me 1 second because my daughter is here and I need to
Sure, no worries, no worries.
just give me 1 second, Agnes, because I'm going to Masha, I'm just in the
I think we can put so far together that if something is not working in your business, right, then you need to look into all areas of your life and start communicating with your partner. Start even
communication. Yeah.
expressing that you are not ready and you don't know what will go on in this area, but you are working on something and it might cause some tension, but you are there for make it better, not just the business, but the relationship as well. And then let's not even talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's not even talk about the fact that oh, I'm earning more, or I will be earning more. I will out earn the man in the household, and so on and so forth. What that could cause. Can you talk about that a little bit? That the tension that the women roles also in, okay, now she has the potential to earn even more than the men in the house.
Yeah, I know it's a big topic. What you said about communication is key. And communication with a partner is very, very important. And what's important, because relationship is meant, like, if it's not based on trauma, there's a lot of couples, and that's why there are so many divorces these days, because there are a lot of couples initially got together on trauma bonding, not through.
Ouch.
Yes.
Ouch.
Fortunately, I mean, it is sad, yeah, but this is why in this world, when energy is transforming on the planet and people are invited to awaken, right, to their truth, that's why there are a lot of people are going separate ways, after realizing that it was not based on pure authentic connection, but was more of a trauma and survival. So the starting communication is important. And if a couple is together for authentic reason, supporting each other dreams, this should be normal. It's a normal thing, because you are together because you want to hear your other half's dream. This is why this is from the place of love, not on trauma, but I really want to know your true desires. It's not from the place, oh, I'm going to fulfill them. No, but I want to know what's inside of your soul. What is it that you're dreaming about? What would be like your most amazing thing? And it's on both ends, right? So we want to be seen in our relationships and not being criticized for that, but seen and acknowledged. So this is why it's important to go into communication and say, this is what my dream. I want to build the business from the place of freedom, from a place of self-expression, from the place of not having boxed rules like maybe in the corporate environment. This is what makes me happy. And it's figuring out as a family how this can be supported, given what's happening on both ends. I know it's not easy because money can be a pressure, and this is another topic of transforming relationships with money, because everybody brought their own money beliefs from their own families and backgrounds, and your partner may have the belief that money cannot be made from the place of love. It can only be made from the place of structure, from the place of certain path, and it's not about fighting with that. It's recognizing, right? And yeah, so this is one part. And then accepting whatever that is. And then a woman will feel, is that person genuinely support her dream? Or he just not interested? He doesn't want to hear, and it's a bitter truth, but and then what about in terms of the earning? I mean, I've in the personal development world, in the coaching world, I personally, the women, the mentors, the coaches who are thriving even online, and they seem to be like mega successful, I look closer, and most of them, they have partners who support them, who are, as we say, like gray cardinals, supporting them. And they even talk about this openly. So they'll let their women to build a success that makes them happy, And yes, they can start making a lot more money from that place. And I think if what I believe in, if a woman has such partners, she will be making more money. Because he is not limiting her. He is not afraid of, you know, of his masculine being somewhat in the shade or something like this, you know, because she's self-actualizing herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the problem comes when that's not your partner, right? When your partner has also difficulties in his life and he's not working on that. But I kind of feel like from everything what we talked about so far that, and last time as well, and if you guys haven't watched the previous episode, it was brilliant, really. Where is your money trapped? It feels like that this is the feminine approach, right? Just really facing certain things, feeling the feelings, and
Feeling the
deep,
feelings, yeah. Feeling the
deep, deep, and
feeling, dig deeper, because feminine is on inside, and the women, even in the communication, woman can feel. Is it really that he wants to be heard, and or he genuinely not interested in her dreams? She will feel that, you know, and this is something painful to admit. But that's for the better, because if she lives with a partner who is genuinely not interested, then is it the right partner really? Right? And of course, if there's been life built and there is house and kids and everything, it's like rocking the boat is extremely scary and hard. And this is another thing, and I hear it during sessions, like even for women start making money. I'm not even saying making a lot of money or more money, even start making, you know, kind of money so they can support themselves fully through the business that they love. They're holding themselves so because they're scared to start rocking the boat.
been
They
there.
are holding themselves because maybe they've seen their partner as a provider, and that's the only role he had. And then when they are independent financially from fulfillment, they will no longer understand what else is he there for.
Mm.
They will be like, okay, if I don't need you to provide for me any longer, who are you? Like
Yeah,
we've
that's
we've
huge.
not we've not met before. We haven't met on a soul level. We've met on a functional level, right?
Mm-hmm. These days, even I'm dating, and even there, right? Not just in the relationship, but the functional part, and it's huge, isn't it? It's like if we women don't need the provider because we are pushing through and we are doing it, and we, it's like at least that's the minimum, bare minimum, what I can expect from a man, right? Then that he takes over certain part of this when we are together. But they are so frightened. They are so. I think it's a whole social issue right now with dating between 25 and 40 something, right? It's huge that men only are seen as providers, and they see themselves as providers, and anything else, if the woman is self-sufficient, it's hard for them to feel manly, although there are so many other things, right, what they could do. But I think this generation, my generation, and the younger people are not built like that, and that's so sad. That's really, really sad.
Yeah, it's for each to go into their set of beliefs, what they believe about being a partner as a man or a woman in a relationship. And for a woman, especially if we are talking to women at the moment, you know, every woman has to have a check-in with herself, because beliefs play crucial part in how we build our lives, you know, because if we believe in something, we will be making choice accordingly, right? If we believe that we need man for survival, she may be saying on the surface, no, no, I don't believe that. I've always been independent, blah, blah, blah. And nevertheless, I heard this a lot from women. Before I met my partner, I was independent, I was flying. And then we met, we got children. And then all of a sudden, I found myself being not self-actualized, depending on him. And, and yeah, I understand there is practical side. There are small children that requires time and energy. But at the same time, she subconsciously chose the partner because what happens when children come? It becomes a family, right? It becomes like a, functional family. And usually people, and this is where I'm learning when I'm learning about the trauma, subconsciously we choose what we learned in our families in the childhood, right?
Yeah.
And we either choose very similar model or we choose something opposite because we made a conclusion that, no, I'm not going to be like this, like in my family. I'm going to, choose something else.
Yeah.
So this is why when women say, oh, I was so independent before, I was like, but then all of a sudden I found myself like in a trap because she subconsciously chose that model for the family because somehow, that's again, we're talking through trauma because it was wired in her because, she could have also chosen a partner who will say, hey, darling, what's your dream? And, you don't need to bury yourself in the motherhood and be always tired and giving yourself up completely. I don't, I'm not comfortable myself to see a partner like this. I want my woman to thrive. I want my woman to be happy because men, they feed off woman's energy, right? Masculine energy, they feed off feminine energy. They get energy, they get inspiration, they get this power. I'm doing something right. If a woman next to me is happy, I'm doing something right, and it boosts their ego, I would say, masculine, right? They inspire to do more. So this is when we say, when we praise man, when we say thank you, it inspires them to do more for you. It's
Yeah.
the same way as a feminine. If a woman is happy, it's like for a man a compliment. I'm doing something right.
I
I'm
love that. Yes.
doing something right. She's not miserable with me. She's not unhappy. She's not. And so this is why masculine, healthy masculine, they know that. They know that. So it's important for them. It's important for them. So that's why healthy masculine will be interested in your dreams. They will be interested to know what makes you happy, what gives smile on your face. They will be interested.
Right. Right. But what if we don't have that home? It really feels like from all of these conversations and the conversations with my clients and with people online and friends and family, right? It really feels like that we as feminine beings need to be really aware how we operate the best
Yeah.
so it can really blossom throughout business, throughout family, throughout children and relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's for a woman, it's important to learn herself.
Mm.
She knows herself. She knows what her values are. She knows what her truth. She knows what she stands for. She can be honest with herself and say, okay, this I like, this I don't like. Thank you very much.
Or are accept or not, right?
Yeah.
It's like don't just swallow the bitter pill and be okay with certain things because there is a way out, right? If you learn to change it. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for every woman is different. Like I even observe, for example, if you have like when you say like, for example, people get divorced, for example, and then a woman finds her partner with another woman being really happy. And
Mhm.
those traits about him, they made her miserable. For another woman, it's okay.
Mhm.
And you may say, oh, you know what? She's like low value or something. I'm not talking about his behavior. I'm talking about his authentic side. Maybe for you it was painful, but for her, this is like breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And because she's different, because we are all very different, And this
Right.
is why it's important to understand your truth and, to have partnership where you feel aligned, when you feel compatible, where your strength is not recognized as a threat, when your strength is recognized as, oh, I know it makes you happy. I know it makes you thrive. I know it makes you fulfilled, you know?
Let's do
So
that.
if
Yeah.
a masculine, healthy masculine sees that the woman next to him is ambitious and having her own success is important to her, he will support her in that.
Yeah, and everything will be easier. Won't be.
Everything will be
Yeah.
easier and she will feel supported and she will be feeling, if she's in her healthy, she will feel gratitude. She will feel thanking her partner, not rubbing into his face saying, "Oh, look, you know what? I'm making so much more money than you." No, absolutely not. That's not healthy. But she will say, "Thank you for supporting me for that. Thank you for, making me feel seen and helping me thrive and even with your mental and psychological support."
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, if I am the structure girl. I need the
You
step
summarize
step
it
by
all,
step,
yes.
right? It's like I need the. So women are there trying to run their businesses, but something's still stopping them. Then just let's listen. How do you feel? What are the things that might stop you? And then from there, you will be able to see if it's the relationship, if it's you are too pleasing or you are taking too much on. And from there, you can actually dissect what the problem is and work on the communication, work on the relationship, and go from there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. One question I recommend to ask yourself, if you feel like you're doing everything right, like you're ticking the boxes and you're doing the strategy, taking action, ask yourself very honest question. What do you believe in? Why this is not going the way you want it to go? What you personally believe? Because we all on some level have some beliefs. We do have a story. So what story are you telling yourself? And
Mhm.
that's important to bring it out to the surface.
And be
What's going,
honest.
yeah, what chatter is happening in your head?
Mhm. That will
What is
show you.
happening? Yeah, what is happening?
And that will give you the key.
They will give you the clue where to start, It
Mhm.
may give you the clue about certain beliefs that you have that draining your energy or explanations of story. Whose fault is this? And, maybe it's Mercury in retrograde is never leaving your life,
Yeah, and I also seen, since I'm working on myself as well, that really not acting from ego and really not coming from the, oh my God, I'm hurt, that's why I need to hurt you too, and certain patterns, right? Since I removed it, it comes up still, of course. There are certain things that come up, but I can, like, okay, now I remove myself from the situation. Let's just calm down, see where this is coming from, and then move forward, right? So there are certain things that once we've worked out, it's not even coming up, and it helps us to reflect differently and then go to the partner and then see the relationship, the patterns from a different perspective, right?
Mhm.
So we listen, we communicate. We don't coach, do we? We don't coach
But the
our
partner,
partners.
no, absolutely not. No, you can only communicate from yourself without blaming how you feel.
Mhm.
If you feel you're not seen and supported, you can start with a phrase like this. And unfortunately, some partners will take it as a attack, but that's not healthy. That I can say straight away.
Mhm.
Because if a woman is not directly attacking her partner and she's talking from her feelings, he's wounded masculine can
Mhm.
interpret it in that way.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And unfortunately, that's not her responsibility to fix it. If
But
it
what do you do in that situations, right? It's like you can't
if
be
you feel
responsible.
that, if you feel it's not going anywhere, not try to explain yourself too much, this is what's important. So when women feel they're not heard, even from that place, they go into this defense mode. which can turn into argument, of course, because she's trying to prove, she's trying to validate herself. Look, my feelings are valid. She doesn't need to explain herself. She doesn't need to explain herself in the way of attacking and in the way of, this emotional distress, She's just acknowledging, is he interested? Is he making an effort to hear me out? Or he just blindly saying, oh, you think it's all my fault. No, she never said, if you never say that this is your fault and you're saying, I feel I'm not seen. I feel I'm not supported. Let's talk about this, right? And then see where it goes. If it's not going anywhere, then maybe leave it for now. He may then 2 days later come back and say, look, I've thought about this, it just landed on me. Or it may never happen, you know? So it's also being flexible, for a woman, not kind of, because I used to be very categorical. I would just like, okay, it's not working, that's it, cross the line, cross everything, bye. Give it a little bit of, feel onto it.
Yeah, but where is the line between pleasing and between, okay, I push my feelings aside and it's like, okay, my feelings are not validated, that's it, I need to live with it, how do I push through that? And where is the point where where you can make this work, or you can stand up for yourself? I guess it's situation dependent and person dependent, but I feel like the line between expressing my feelings and not being validated, and expressing my for now or at all, and expressing my feelings and being totally rejected, it's like there is this fine line.
You're not expressing because you don't want to rock the boat, is it what you're saying? And then
Yeah. It's like, okay, I realize that these things are happening. And then is it another thing what I just put it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's wait 2-3 days and we will see how it goes? Or is it something that, okay, categorically this is not working, I just need to get out of that, which is the hardest.
I think it's for a woman, it just depends how sometimes woman is so fed up and so tired that she doesn't have patience anymore. Depends on the situation. It's really hard to give like black and white advice, because it's so many details in there, and in terms of where they are at the moment as a family, if they have children, they don't have children, what the children's situation is, and the whole history, how they started as a couple, it just all depends, because sometimes, yeah, maybe woman doesn't feel that she's heard, supported, or anything like this, but she still has feelings for that man, and this
Yes.
there's no point to deny that, but what I recommend to all women, always have a container outside your family, outside your relationship or personal life, and even if you're dating, where you can bring your feelings into the safe environment where you will be heard and seen, like to coaching sessions or therapy sessions, where everything is valid, everything, even if you're having this aggression, even if you're like really angry, because like I know I'm a professionally trained coach, so we know how to work with feelings, right? We know how to hold the space, and we know how to help to recognize what's happening between the lines and underneath, behind the words, and behind certain emotions, because my work is to support, my work is to help my clients to be seen, and and then she can bring everything that's bothering her in the relationships. And then during the sessions, she can have an insight. She can have an insight and say, one lady like I coached recently, and she said her insight was, I just stop bothering him at all. Just let him, continue with, let him do what he does. Stop coming to him and begging for recognition, begging to be seen, begging for being an emotional pillow for me. Just leave things and go and work on myself. And sometimes it will do miracles. And sometimes the partner will step up and say, look, I really want to hear you. And because the woman took off the heavy weight, because men, they cannot service the full emotional load sometimes because they just not trained this way, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but for every woman is different. Or another woman can wake up and she said, you know what? We've been together for so many years and I'm fed up.
Mm.
I don't want anymore. I don't want anything. I don't see this working. I don't see it's being fixed ever. She has rights to feel this way. So basically, a container where her feelings are valid. If she says that's the way, that's the way.
Mm.
You know?
It's deep, isn't it? It's like
Very, very deep.
it's really different for each and every one of us. But I think the point what we wanted to make here was it is possible that your business goals and lifestyle goals and certain things are not working out because you bring the pattern or you bring the unease
Bring
what
the
you
past.
have.
Yeah. And the pleasing goes like in relationship, if a woman stops herself from saying no, putting the boundary, expressing how she feels and what she doesn't like, because maybe it will cause tension, maybe it will cause misunderstanding or an argument or anything like this. And she like, okay, I'd rather keep it safe. I'd rather keep it traditional and conventional. I bury my true desires. That's pleasing. Then she goes to her business and she will be in a pleasing mode as well. What
Mhm.
do I say? What do I say in order to be liked? You know, what strategy do I adapt in order for my business to work? Or, you know, being a leader, a thought leader in her truth and going out there and saying, you know, whatever she needs, she wants to say on behalf of her business and herself. That's being a leader. And if you're a leader, you're a leader in with your own self in a relationship as well, where you're not scared to express yourself.
And you need a good team and you need to be able to manage that team in order
Yeah,
to make it thrive, right? Yeah.
you need a good team. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I
Yeah.
said, you know, I wish everyone can hear that. Please get support.
Mhm.
You are absolutely, undeniably allowed and deserve.
True. Yeah.
You know, you don't need to be a good girl, a strong girl who handles everything herself and
Yeah.
holding herself and facing everything. And you can also show your vulnerable side. You can also say, I think I'm falling apart inside of me. I'm not coping. I haven't got strength anymore. I haven't got, you can, you know, can bring all of this because this is where the strength gets built up from being honest.
Yeah. And if we look at our parents and grandparents, right, the strong women, at least in my family, right, they hold it everything were together, yeah, alone, right? So they were the strong women, never asked for help, never asked for support, never asked for anything, right? But they done it. So that's the picture and the pattern what I have. And it is really hard to ask for support and ask for help. But these days, I think is just so much easier to get help, to get other people who are experiencing the same or went through the same as you do. It's just magic how quickly things can just really form small
Yeah,
shifts.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Change. Yeah,
These
yeah,
days, for different, even like budgets and
yeah, yeah.
different topics for different, you have to find your person in alignment with you. That's important, I believe, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, absolutely. There is a lot more, there is a more support available than it used to be, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that. I love that. And let's create amazing things for those who need help. And if there is one message before we finish that you would like everyone to take away, what would that be, one message?
do not be afraid, and I think I said it last time, do not be afraid, do not beat yourself up to want, to desire to have more. That's, it's not selfish. You're not gonna do it at the cost of someone's happiness. Absolutely not. You know? It's opposite. If you choose to grow, because more is not just more in the bank account, because more, it's about more of you,
Yeah,
more depth of yourself, more understanding of yourself, more fulfillment, more opportunities, more money channels, as we say, because we are so multidimensional. And if you choose that way, you're inviting others to grow.
right. It's like
If
you
they choose,
expanding.
you're
Yeah.
expanding, yeah, you're expanding.
And
You
you're helping with everyone.
Yeah, you choose that, and everybody around you. Yeah, some people will never choose that. That's fine. But yeah, and also you are absolutely have rights for healing, you know.
Mm.
No
Oh,
matter how many responsibilities, how many kids, how many difficult situations, you have rights for healing, meaning you're totally allowed to feel better, to
mm.
feel happier, to feel more fulfilled. It's not selfish because your light will be shining for everybody else. You know,
Exactly. Exactly. You need to fill your own cup first. You need to put the oxygen mask first on yourself. And after that, you can give more and you will be more joyful at home as well. And the people will react to that energy. Mm.
yeah, and feminine money, it's about attracting. So the better your energy is, the higher your vibrations, the happier you are, the more joyful you are, the more things are attracted to you because we get attracted to the energy, right? It's unseen thing, but we always know, like if we take two people, they may have the same things on the paper, but some people will always be drawn to the other person more. Why? Because of the energy. There's something about that person, unspoken, right? That everybody wants to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your energy is important. You have rights for healing and you have rights to want more for yourself, you know?
And that's where your wealth is. That's where your feminine
That's why
wealth.
that's why your feminine wealth is, absolutely.
Love it. Thank you very much for being here. What's the best way again to reach out to you?
Yeah, follow me on my Facebook page. Connect
Okay.
with me on Facebook.
Mhm.
And there is Instagram account as well. I can post the link. And if you want to feel like coming for free diagnostics call with me, where I will help you on strategic level to see how you can do better for yourself. Where are your money channels? Where are you blocking it? Where you're not fully going for it, you know? You can already start seeing and having some breakthroughs and taking different actions from there.
Because you deserve to feel.
Sure, absolutely.
Mm. Mm. Thank you very much, Elina. It was pleasure having you again, and thank you for the insights. It's really a complex and beautiful topic
Yeah,
to
yeah. Thank you, Agnes.
dive deep because that's the key, isn't it? We
That's
are
the
the key.
Thank you for inviting. And indeed, yeah, I'm so happy we're bringing up not an easy topic, but getting it out there and going through it. It's important.
It is important. So if you think that this is something that would help someone, just tag the person, send the link, and let's spread the good energy and the healing. Thank you very much for being here. Have an amazing day.
To Agnes.